Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury. ArchieLuxury from the ArchieLuxury channel, the Paul Pluta channel, and ArchieLuxury corporate. Guys, keep watching. Keep watching. I need the viewers. I need the viewers. I need the subs. I need it. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell your friends, whether you like them or hate them. Just tell them anyhow. ArchieLuxury on YouTube. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury channel. Paid reviews. This is paid review 20 AU34. 20 AU34. Quick wristwatch check. Patek Philippe 5196. Today's question is, request for a paid review. Should 4 become 5? Dear Archie, this request for a collection review is from Rob in Hong Kong. This is a longer review, so I've sent you $100. Love the channel. Great to have you, the Pontiff, on YouTube. As you really understand the watch industry and tell it as it is. Please review my collection of 4 watches. I know that you like to know a little about the person who has collected the watches to give some context, so here goes. I'm a British engineer living and working in Hong Kong, and I'm about the same age as you. I've been married, divorced, and remarried with a daughter from the first marriage and a son and a stepson from the second. I am interested to know what you think of my collection and also looking for some advice on what watch I should go for next. I've been into watches since I was a teenager, but only in recent years have I been able to afford the luxury end. It started with a birthday present from my older brother in 1987 with a 1987 Seiko Sports 100 quartz chronograph with moon phase. White dial two-tone, which at the time, as I knew nothing about watches, seemed to be a higher-end mass-market quartz, which I still have. Still works, but it's a bit delicate now. I think in 1987 he paid about $400 US. I still buy and keep some lower end watches that I just like the look of or feel an affinity with, like the Seiko 5 Day Date 37mm military style watch that I bought in 2003 and the new Seiko 5 40mm blue dial Day Date released in 2020. But let's get into the luxury watches. Number 1, see attached. Number 1, here we go. Number 1. In 2001, I swapped freezing cold grey London for the Far East. Ooh, what a great adventure. Earned more money, paid less tax, discovered Asian ladies, and hope I never have to go back. After a lot of hard graft as a junior engineer, I wanted a Swiss mechanical watch that was innovative. So in 2003, poured my hard-earned dollars, $2,500, into a 2003 Omega Deville coaxial chronograph with silver dial and the most gorgeous brick pattern bracelet. An expensive option at the time, which I believe was the first time Omega paired with George Daniels' coaxial escapement with the F. Piguet 1185 movement with column wheel chronograph. 3313 Omega reference for the movement. It had a display back, good luminescence as my first foray into luxury Swiss mechanical watches. I was nervous about having bought it and wondered if it had done the right thing. It was a lot of money for me to spend at the time, and I sweated as I paid for it. It was a Scheider. The 3313 movements chronograph failed to properly reset. Hands fell off, and on one occasion the watch stopped when wound. Fortunately, I had bought it new from an AD and it was under warranty. However, it took another 11 years in and out of Omega service centers. 2014, during which Omega told me they upgraded the movement to the 3313B and then the 3313C for free, and it's worked beautifully since. I now love the watch. I think it must be one of the only watches of this model with the upgraded movement. This is the price you pay for buying innovative watches that have not been sufficiently field tested via real customers, but at least Omega did the honorable thing and worked to put things right. I only wanted the watch to be reliable. Chrono 24 indicates this has lost 13% of its value. without steel bracelet option, as I've had it for 17 years. I'm keeping it. Okay, interesting story there, I must say there. I get you. It is disappointing when you have a piece that doesn't live up to expectations. It can really, it hurts. It hurts. Of course it hurts. I feel for you, man. I feel for you. I got to be honest with you, it's probably not the greatest, you know, collectible sort of watch there, but, you know, it's you were there, you picked it out, and Omega's a great brand. Omega is a good brand. I can't fault you for going with Omega. Omega was a, you know, that is a look, it's not. It's actually quite. Look, I'm just having a look at the picture. It is sexy. It is an Omega high. Okay. I get it. Okay, you're keeping it. That's cool. A note of caution with Omega servicing. After more recent service in Hong Kong, I examined the watch before leaving the store and noted a scratch on the sapphire crystal. The Omega staff told me it was there before service. Only after I insisted it was not did they check the photo of the watch they took before it went in for service. No scratch on the crystal, and admitted Omega had scratched it. Omega replaced the crystal without charge. Had I left the store without examining it, I would have had to have paid for a new. Gee, that's a bit poor. That's a bit poor. Okay, watch number 2. After divorce from the first Asian wife. Ooh, nasty. My daughter back in the UK and wanting to track her time so I knew when to call. Shitty excuse, I had an iPhone, but hey. And after recovering my finances, I lusted after the new Rolex Explorer, Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi on Jubilee. After reality sank in that I could not get this from an AD, and retail and grey market was double retail, I guessed I could get the Rolex two-tone Sky-Dweller black dial, one of the most complex and fantastic watches Rolex has ever made, with GMT, annual calendar, and command bracelet for less than the grey market Pepsi. So that was it. I bought it in 2018 for just over 16,000 US from a grey market dealer in Hong Kong. Chrono 24 indicates it's gone up by 19% in value, reassuring if I ever hit the skids and had to sell to survive, but I think I would rather sell a kidney than part with this beauty. This one has some special meaning too, as it was chosen for me by my new Asian wife. I love the Sky-Dweller, and especially the two-tone. The yellow gold color is great, especially when reflecting the afternoon sun or catching the light when swimming in the sea. So few people have them when I look around, so it feels special as well. I've never really understood why so many people hate two-tone watches and prize steel only so highly, but to me their loss is my gain. From a distance it looks like a Datejust, but and have been looking for a similar looking ladies Datejust for my wife. I take turns wearing this with the Omega Deville as my Monday to Friday work evening watch. Yes sirree, yes sirree. Next, watch 3. So I got to tell you, just to recap there, watch 1 was the Omega. Yes, interesting piece. Watch 2, the Sky-Dweller. How could you go wrong with the Sky-Dweller? I mean, that is a captain of industry watch. I love the two-tone. I do. I think it's beautiful. Watch 3, roll forward to 2020, and I realized I was getting addicted to fine Swiss mechanical watches. Given my family and business interactions involve people from across the globe, okay, this is another shitty excuse for what comes next, I decided to seek out a world time after reviewing a vast array of simple and complex world timers, from shitty Mont Blanc to the GP world time, Breitling Unipilot, JLC's Secret, JLC's recent offering including Polaris and Geophysics Universal Time, the Super 37 Time Vacheron Constantine, and the classic elegant Super Patek Philippe 5110J. Yes, I own that baby. It came down to not wanting a shitter, not having enough money for the 5110J, still liking complex watches, my taste, and after doing a versus of the Zenith Double-Matic and the JLC Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph, it was close call, but JLC as the watchmaker won. I paid $10,000 via Chrono 24 and nearly whipped out my bank account in the process. Another period of profuse sweating as I awaited the parcel. Admittedly, it is above the typical second-hand cost, and I could have scored one cheaper, but this one had a full JLC service, was in great condition compared to the others for sale, and came with the expensive option of this steel bracelet, which is rare and I love it. It also came with the bolstered alligator and rubber bracelets, full box and papers. Changing straps bracelets is easy by using your fingernail on the lever on the back of the watch. Also love the diver style red, white, small seconds. The compressor crown and the pusher are awesome. Red, you're dead. White, you're tight. Tim Musso, you rock tool. You rock two. Exclamation mark after the two. You can see the red in the box of the photo. Okay, he sent me. I'm just going to check this out because I want to see what I'm actually talking. Ooh, sexy, man. That is a sexy. I love the red. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the shock resistance from having the titanium inner case on springs inside the stainless steel outer case. The watch is huge, 46 mil, but sits surprisingly well on my wrist due to the lug shape, and it's surprisingly light. It's one of my weekend watches, and I swap the bracelets around for different looks and activities. JLC, what a beautiful choice. So we've got an Omega, we got a Rolex Sky-Dweller, and we got a JLC Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph. What a cool watch. Yes, sirree. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. Watch 4. Watch 4. Finally, the world was not enough, and I had to scratch an itch that's been on my mind since I bought my first Omega in 2003. And I finally took the plunge to time the commemorating the birth of my son by purchasing the Omega Man on the Moon watch with the Halcyon glass, brand new, bought brand new from an AD, but paid $4,200 and get a 5-year warranty in my name. I went for brand new as I realized the second-hand prices were not much cheaper, so I negotiated for a better price from the AD. Came with all bells and whistles that the Moon watch is sold with: steel bracelet, NATO, Velcro band. Nothing. Noting that the Halcyon crystal was easy to scratch, I tend to wear this watch on more sedate occasions at the weekend. It's a beautiful watch and great value, and the backstory to the watch is awesome. Worn by Buzz Aldrin on the Moon, helped rescue the crew of the stricken Apollo 13 spacecraft. No one's going to beat this until man lands on Mars. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. There we go. So I got to tell you, the Moon watch. Yes, that makes up. You should have got that originally, but hey, you didn't know, you're new to the hobby. You know how it is. Each of these 4 watches has a personal meaning to me. They all get wrist time as I buy them and enjoy them, not as investments or for flipping. Times are quite tough with the impacts of COVID-19, with many people losing jobs, getting reduced pay, reduced working hours, and so on. I feel lucky to presently keep a job and be paid quite well, but that could change in an instant. So am now being a bit more cautious and putting away some rainy day money as well. The big question for me now is, what next? What next? Okie dokie, this is very interesting indeed there. Do I stick at 4 or do I buy one more? Okay, I'm going to answer these questions as we go through them. So my advice is stick at 4. Look, I honestly would say to you, maybe slow down. We're in hard times, but it doesn't mean we're never going to buy a watch again. I definitely would be buying. When a man stops buying watches, he's in a casket. Just, you don't have to race out there, or don't trade anything. Do not trade anything. That's a dumb thing to do. Keep what you've got. I would I would add more, but you can take a bit of a hiatus. I think I'm missing a superstar. You betcha. You betcha. And I mean one with fantastically finished movement like a Patek or a Lange. I do appreciate the craftsmanship, being an engineer, that goes into these. So it is maybe where my heart is, but difficult to get a complication at this end of the market at a reasonable price. I would say to you, man, Patek and Lange, they're not so expensive. Secondary market, you are flexible. It's all about the deal. Lange would be better value on the secondary market. Definitely a Lange 1. Pateks, there's so many. A Calatrava is not much more than a Batman. You know, it's actually could be the same price. You know this? I have 3 watches with black dials and 1 with silver. Perhaps time to add some other color. You got 3 watches with black and 1 with silver. No. Well, you can, yeah. You can add an opaline dial, a whitey dial. Yeah, I don't think the dial color is a big deal there. I thought about the Rolex two-tone blue dial sub, but is that just an easier option? Look, it's a great watch. I would add one of those too, but I would now get the super watch. That's what I would get. I would definitely get Patek or Lange. Definitely, you're a man. You've had some experiences. I understand exactly where you're coming from, Rob. Also thought about the IWC Portuguese annual calendar. One reference IW 503502 blue dial, 7-day power reserve, but only get this second-hand as retails for suckers. The annual calendar display is great. Perhaps the only watch I have seen that compares with this is the superior and much better finish Patek Philippe annual calendar 5205G, which is double the price or more of the IWC, and likely out of my budget range, at least for now. So do I go for a Rolex Bluesy, an IWC engineer, or wait a few years before I can afford the Patek, or go for something entirely different? Archie, my head is in a spin. I need your direction to set me on the right course. Thanks and best regards, Rob. Let me tell you this now. Okay, starters, would I buy the Bluesy? Definitely yes. I would definitely get a Rolex Bluesy. Fantastic watch, yes. IWC annual calendar, no. I would definitely get a Patek, yes. So I tell you now, you got 2 choices. You either get the Bluesy and then wait a bit and then we get the Patek, or we say, hang on a minute, we're in bad times. Let's just keep our money up our sleeve. Keep the 4 we've got. We'll add a Patek down the track. That's exactly right. So I wouldn't be in a super rush. Just slow down. By the way, you know, I was selling a second-hand Patek. I was selling a 5127 for $17,500. See, that's not huge money. That's the same money you would pay for a ceramic Bluesy. See, so Pateks aren't that certain models. Now, the 5205 is huge money. That's big money. But a manual wind with, an automatic with date, 17.5 on the pre-owned market. That was a white gold Calatrava with the crown guard. See, that's relative. If you are flexible, you can get a Patek. You can have your cake and eat it too. So I would say there's nothing wrong with taking a bit of a hiatus. We are in very hard times. COVID. Hold it out. See how it goes. But my advice to you is keep loving the watches. Keep loving the watches. I hope your Asian wife has get her a Rolex Steel Oyster Perpetual. If you haven't already got a watch for her, Rolex Oyster Perpetual Steel, that's what she needs. Keep having fun, living the dream. I tell you what, once you've gone Asian, you'll never go back to the Western world. It's full of misery. So well done. Congratulations. Thank you for being a loyal fan. Guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some negative comments. And I got to tell you guys, I love Patek Philippe. I love the Pateks. Guys, I can't survive on Google Ads alone. I rely on paid reviews to keep me full-time on YouTube. If you haven't done a paid review, now would be very, very, very handy. I will see you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW.
Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.